A globally popular game suddenly announced its shutdown. While everyone was frantically selling off their gear to recoup losses, I sold my house and took out a loan to recharge my game account. Everyone laughed at my foolishness, but they didn't know that the moment the game truly shut down, the game's bosses would descend to Earth, and those who kept their game characters would inherit their in-game abilities. In my past life, I sold my account to recoup losses due to real-world constraints, but ultimately, when the apocalypse came, I didn't even survive half a day. On my deathbed, I made a final call to my game partner, Meng Yao, saying goodbye. After saying that, I kicked the bucket. But when I opened my eyes again, I found myself transported to before the game shut down. And at that moment, I was talking to my game partner, Meng Yao. What goodbye? What nonsense? It's just an official server shutdown, right? We can just play other games together. Seeing the familiar scene before me, I instinctively asked him, just like before, are you planning to sell your account? What about you? I'm not selling. It holds so many memories for me. Hearing his identical answer, I realized I had truly transmigrated. Seeing me remain silent for a long time, Meng Yao was clearly disappointed. For him, this game wasn't just a game, but a beautiful memory. I was the most important part of that memory. So when he heard I chose to sell my account, instead of staying with him until the end, he was naturally disappointed. In my past life, he was indeed disappointed because of this. But when the monsters descended, Meng Yao, who inherited the character's abilities, still rushed to save me. Unfortunately, I didn't even survive half a day back then. Don't worry, he said, I won't sell the account. I'll walk alongside you to the end. And the dungeons we haven't run, and the places we haven't, I'll take you through every scene we've been through. After making that sweet promise, I hung up the phone. Then I opened the game forum, and without exception, it was full of posts complaining about the game's official staff and selling equipment. I casually scrolled through and saw a lot of players selling gold coins. 100 million, gold coins for 100,000. You know, in this legendary online game, gold coins are supposed to be 1.1 to real-world gold coins. But now it's dropped to 1,000.1. But I know, there's no rush to buy now, because the price will plummet further. I continued scrolling down, and when I saw a post, my eyes lit up. Ha ha ha, the mage's giant god staff, a max-level artifact, the only one in the entire server, selling for 600,000. I happened to be a mage, and I was about to buy it, when I suddenly realized that I couldn't afford it. But after hesitating for a second, I realized, oh right, I could sell the house anyway, since the game was going to invade reality. When the monsters arrived, any tall building would be nothing but paper in their presence. So I immediately contacted a real estate agent. Because my neighborhood was in a good school district, buyers contacted me quickly after the news spread. I eventually sold it for 3 million, but we needed to finalize the contract and agent fees, so the transaction wouldn't be completed until tomorrow at the earliest. But I wasn't in a hurry, because I had a lot of things to do. First, I needed to get a loan. What was the point of paying back loans when the monsters arrived? While the house was still in my possession, I immediately prepared my property certificate and personal information and submitted them to the lending institution. But this amount was far from enough. I then found some loan sharks and used the house as collateral, get another 1.6 million. After doing all that, I called my classmate, Fatty Zhang. Before the game shut down, he was a big-time professional, merchant in the game, Esau, accumulating tens of millions in wealth over 2.5 years. But the shutdown nearly bankrupted him. Fatty Zhang, I said, I'm here to help you cut your losses. Let me put it this way. Can you get 1 billion gold coins? At the current market price, I can get you all of them. Hearing this, Fatty Zhang was shocked. After all, everyone was looking for suckers to take over their losses. Why would I be willing to take over? Of course, I couldn't reveal my transmigration. So I lied and said I wanted to get a top-tier set of equipment to use with my in-game partner for farming. Isn't this for my in-game partner? Oh, and also, can you get me a set of the mage set? Fatty Zhang readily agreed. A few hours later, I received it. Zhang Pengzi mailed me some equipment along with some costumes, which I could give to Meng Yao as a gift. It was quite late when I finished, and when I logged on, I saw a message from Meng Yao. Don't you think this game is completely boring? You wouldn't have logged on so late before. If you don't want to play anymore, I won't force you. If you want to play another game, I'll play with you. Although we've only known each other online for 2 years, we're like close friends. After listening, I smiled slightly and, without saying a word, immediately asked him to open my inventory. I then transferred a set of Priest's Divine Gear, the Moon Goddess set, to him. Even after the price drop, this set is worth over 1 million. Before, it would have been worth hundreds of millions. No, this is my dream. I can't let you spend all the money, I still have some pocket money. Here, you can have it all first. With that, When I heard the payment notification on my phone, I opened it and was shocked to see 6 million. I was stunned for a long time before I could barely manage to say a few words. I've known you for so long, and I never knew you were such a rich woman. You have 6 million in pocket money? What kind of family is this? But then I remembered that in my past life, when the game invaded reality, Meng Yao rushed to save me, but she was entangled by a level 90 boss. A priest fighting a level 90 boss alone meant that Meng Yao's equipment was very strong. In other words, even if I hadn't given her the money beforehand, she would have bought it herself. I'll also pay for the money she spends in the game in the future. If it's not enough, she must tell me. I didn't say anything more. With this money from Meng Yao, I can now synthesize a god-level pet egg. Pets in the game New World are very powerful battle partners, but they require only when the master's profession matches can the pet's full potential be realized. Synthesizing high-level pet eggs requires extremely high costs, which is why top-tier pets are so rare in this game. I asked Fatty Zhang to buy them for me again, and soon over 500 pet eggs arrived. I then sent them to Meng Yao, and we continued synthesizing them together. While synthesizing, I sent Fatty Zhang a voice message. Keep buying pet eggs for me, as many as you have, I want them all. Buy them and synthesize them, for me directly, once I finish synthesizing. If it were something worth 5 or 6 million in the past, my heart would definitely race. But I've even experienced death, so I'm not easily moved. I shouted loudly, "Open!" As the blinding light disappeared, a monster's roar echoed, "Ah!" Juvenile Stegosaurus with rows of fan-shaped fleshy spikes on its back appeared. This is a pet with extremely high defense. This baby Stegosaurus will block 80% of the damage for its owner when ridden. Although it's quite good, it doesn't reach the extraordinary standard. However, Liu Mengyao thinks it's very cute and likes the baby Stegosaurus very much. I don't need or care about this kind of pet. Since Liu Mengyao likes it, it's not bad to give it to her as a mount. Then we continued to open eggs. Soon, a dazzling egg burst into light in front of us. The dazzling light made Liu Mengyao and me close our eyes again. Boss, look, someone is opening a dazzling egg. The server is about to shut down. Why waste money? Maybe it's a rich player. Mark it. The next moment, I received a party request message. But then the message was withdrawn. Seeing this, I immediately realized that I must have been invited by the game. Highly professional gold diggers have set their sights on us. Since there are no laws or regulations in the game, those with dark hearts become unscrupulous after entering, even taking pleasure in killing and looting equipment. They call themselves gold diggers. I have absolutely no liking for these people, They'd better not mess with them, or I'll definitely hunt them down and loot all their equipment. Of course, right now my equipment hasn't been fully upgraded, and my pet hasn't been enhanced either, so I definitely won't leave the main city. At this moment, my thoughts return to the warehouse. As the dazzling light fades, the pet Liu Mengyao has obtained appears before us. A fusion of the vermilion bird and the phoenix. After seeing its innate skills, I was shocked. It truly deserves to be a mythical level pet. Not only does it possess the burst damage can also lead to a phoenix-like rebirth. At this moment, there is a prompt in the team. Please choose the owner of this pet. The vermilion bird is a fire mage pet, a perfect match for your class. You will take it with you, and you will be responsible for output. I will take my Stegosaurus baby to help you absorb damage. Seeing this, I didn't hesitate and directly chose to accept. The next moment, a world announcement appeared. Congratulations to player Luli Chengxi. When opening the pet egg, you were blessed by the god of luck and obtained a mythical quality pet, the only one of its kind in the entire server, the pig bird. As soon as the announcement came out, the previously quiet world channel instantly exploded. Because this game is too realistic and epic-making, and has been running for a long time, there are still many people like Liu Mengyao who will play to the end, even if the server is shut down. Of course, many people also raised questions. The game is about to die. What's the point of getting another mythical beast? It's just a waste of money. I'm too lazy to check the world chat, because I have other things to do. I'm already being watched by some people. At this moment, Fatty Zhang sent me another batch of items, including a set of high-level priest equipment, many enhancement stones, many auxiliary paths, world recipes, etc. These things are all very important. After paying, I traded the priest equipment to Liu Mengyao, and said to her, after we finish getting the equipment, let's go farm the treasure maps. My friend helped us collect 200 treasure maps. Let's see how many mythical beast pills or bloodline pills we can get to boost our combat power. Then, we'll go to the Heavenly Palace. Liu Mengyao was overjoyed. Going to the Heavenly Palace had always been her dream in the game, because the Heavenly Palace was the most difficult dungeon in the entire New World. Previously, she only Those who spent hundreds of millions in the game could afford to farm this gear. But now I only spent a little over $1 million and already have a full set of divine equipment. Then the two of us teleported away together. I did this to shake off those menopausal players, but I didn't expect them to follow us again. I took the magic staff and also the Sumeru ring. Upon hearing this, I was overjoyed. The Sumeru ring is a storage ring that can hold 1,000 items. This kind of thing is not only very useful in the game, but its real-world use will be even greater when the game comes to the real world. However, while I was constantly restocking, an emergency meeting was held in the base of a company built in the mountains. This company was New World Company, the largest online game company on Earth. It had been determined that the energy of the Starstone could only last until April 28th? Yes, sir. Our programmers have tried everything, even bringing in scientists from all over the world, but nothing has worked. This magical stone, intercepted from outer space years ago, is nearing its end. It was because of this stone that the New World civilization was born. It's a pity. Players worldwide are now condemning us. In the last few days, please continue with maintenance, and hold on until the very last day. This is the only thing we can do for the players. Meanwhile, Fatty Zhang is still calling me, asking what I need, but I've refused everything. I already have everything I need, and according to my memory, the price will plummet tomorrow because New World will issue an announcement, and it is this announcement that will definitively declare the end of New World. In this game, everything will be dirt cheap when the game is released. The reason I spent a lot of money to buy equipment in advance is because the game is about to release a new dungeon, Nantianmen. First, it's to help Meng Yao get the handbrake. Second, it's to guard against those gold diggers in the game. Before the update, I used my superpowers again to upgrade all the equipment to the maximum level. After preparing, I took Meng Yao to farm all the treasure maps. Then, I fed all the divine beast pills. We got to the pig bird and the sword dragon. In a short while, they evolved into divine pets comparable to a level 70 boss. After doing all this, I called Meng Yao to come to Tianyue City. The reason for coming is that it is private territory, and my plan is to buy the city directly, so that I can have a fortress when the game invades. I had Zhang Pengzi buy it in advance. The 100 million gold coins finally came in handy. After discussing with the previous city lord, I finally secured the city lord's authority for 800 million gold coins. The first thing I did was appoint Meng Yao as the deputy city lord. After doing all this, I sighed deeply and quickly fell asleep. The next morning, I was woken by a phone call. Upon answering, I learned it was from the client who bought my house. Hello, is this Mr. Liu Chengxi? My name is Bai Haisheng. I originally intended to buy this house for my daughter, but she's never left home before. And your place is a completely unfamiliar city to her. So I hope you won't move out and can continue to live there and help me take care of my daughter. Thinking I didn't have anywhere else to live, I immediately agreed. But a question arose in my mind. Why would someone so confidently entrust their daughter to me? Could it be that this Bai Haisheng's daughter? She was an extremely ugly girl. However, what I didn't know was that, after Bai Haisheng hung up the phone, his daughter Bai Shuyi immediately ran excitedly to Meng Yao. Everything was ready. Meng Yao, you wait until tomorrow. You can give her a big surprise. On the other hand, after hanging up the phone, I didn't think too much and went back to sleep. But it felt like I hadn't slept for long when I was woken up by a knock on the door. I said impatiently, I've already received the takeout. It belongs to someone else. Can you check if it was delivered to the wrong address? As a homebody, no one else would knock on my door except for the delivery person, but the response was a woman's voice. Excuse me, is this Liu Chenxi's house? My name is Bai Shuyi, and I am Bai Haisheng's daughter. I was instantly dumbfounded. Wasn't she supposed to come tomorrow? I checked the time, 10 p.m. Good heavens, they've come in the middle of the night. Then I opened the door. Upon entering, I wasn't greeted by some ugly duckling, but rather a stunning beauty. Liu Mengyao was surprisingly a different kind of person. I snapped out of my daze and immediately ushered Bai Shuyi inside, smiling as I asked, "Why are you here so late? Did you drive yourself?" Bai Shuyi replied, curiously looking around the house. My eyes lit up. A family that could buy a 3 million yuan house in one go must drive a very nice car. Could I handle this car? Although I still had nearly 10 million yuan in cash, it still felt insufficient. After all, at this time, the more money the better. Even though we'd only just met, I'd already set my sights on Bai Shuyi's car. What kind of property was that? It could definitely be worth a lot as collateral. How do I handle the money? I asked, eyeing Bai Shuyi. Bai Shuyi was also eyeing me, so our eyes met, creating a slightly awkward moment. We quickly looked away. Bai Shuyi spoke first. Are you still playing New World? Yes, not only am I playing I'm going to play until the very last second of the official server. That's a coincidence. That's what I was planning too. Talking about games, we instantly found common ground, and the previous awkwardness disappeared. Bai Shuyi smiled and said, I'm a level 100 female warrior, and I'll be changing classes to Valkyrie in the future. I smiled and immediately said, if you're still playing, do you want to run a dungeon with us? I'm confident I can get the first kill on the new dungeon. The rewards will be very generous. Bai Shuyi looked at me with disdain. The game's about to shut down. What rewards are left? What does that mean? Then he asked another question. Lu Chenxi, you really don't remember me? Hearing this, I was stunned, then realized, goodness, I was wondering how a girl like her dared to come and live with me. Turns out she's an acquaintance. You in the game, you wouldn't happen to be the little bird character, would you? I finally remembered. I remember when I first entered this game. I was a complete newbie, like many others, knowing nothing. Then, in a team dungeon, I met my current partner, Liu Mengyao. There was another female character in the team at the time, the little bird character. I remember she played the game with Liu Mengyao, because we later played together until level 50. Later, the little bird character leveled up, had good equipment, and was considered a high-level player, and she especially loved. Unlike Liu Mengyao, who simply enjoys playing games quietly, and unlike me, who can only be a casual player, Xiao Niao Yi Ren Little Bird got into a conflict with a small guild in the game. To prevent Liu Mengyao and me from being implicated, she resolutely left the team. Afterwards, she joined the Shui Piao Qian Li Guild. It's said that she later became an elder in the guild. Originally thought she would be a girl with the same AD in real life, but after meeting her in person, she was quite a girl. It just goes to show that game IDs are indeed unreliable. After joking around with Bai Shu for a while, I went back to my room to rest. After all, we had been teammates in the game before, and had teamed up quite a bit, so there was nothing that would make the other person feel uncomfortable, but none of that matters. The main point is that the buyer is an acquaintance, so I can stall for a few days and then use the house to see if I can scrape some money online. I also need to make use of Bai Shuyi's car. I was worried about how to do it, but now that we're all acquaintances, I can drive your car for a spin. Bai Shuyi shouldn't have any objections, right? In my excitement, I suddenly remembered that, with his relationship with Liu Mengyao, wouldn't Liu Mengyao know about my house sale? I quickly sent Liu Mengyao a message. You already know? About 10 minutes later, Liu Mengyao replied, just taking a shower. Shuyi is here. How is it? Such a beautiful woman. Aren't you happy, surprised, or more like shocked? No wonder you were so excited when you logged off today. Hesitant to speak, it turns out you already knew about me. Otherwise, how could I know you? Even sold your house for my dream. I thought you were so silly. But I really liked it. So you gave me your savings? Without hesitation. Seeing Liu Mengyao's reply, I immediately breathed a sigh of relief, and then chatted happily with her. Even though we were just a couple in the game, and had never met in person, our years of companionship in the game made us practically like lovers in real life. I was thinking that we could earn more money from the house we sold in the future, and even after we got married, I could give you a bigger and better house. But right now, I just want you to be happy, and want to be with you until the end of the game. I know, you must be heartbroken that the game is shutting down. Although you never showed it, my words deeply moved Liu Mengyao. Even though it was obvious I was just making empty promises, girls are easily swayed by that, especially since I'd sold my house to play games with her. Liu Mengyao was completely touched. After chatting for a while, I said I was going to sleep. Liu Mengyao, however, lay in bed, blissfully unable to sleep, so she called Bai Shuyi and told her about how I'd sold my house for her dream. For most people, selling a house to play games is a serious matter, especially since it's a game that's about to be permanently shut down. But for a well-off young woman like me, my actions were undeniably romantic, radiating true love. Even Bai Shuyi, who's usually indifferent to men, couldn't help but say something. After finding such a great boyfriend, Yao Yao, you won't need me anymore. However, after ending her chat with Liu Mengyao, Bai Shuyi immediately opened a chat window. The other person's name clearly read President. President, I found out that Lu Chenxi doesn't know any inside information. The reason he continues to invest heavily in the game is because of his in-game CP. My best friend can't bear to part with this game, so in his final moments, he wants to explore every corner of the game. Thank you for your hard work, Shuyi. It better try to get more information from him, and let me know if you have any news. Don't worry, President, I'm going to sleep now. Then Bai Shuyi turned off her phone. She didn't think too much about it and went to sleep. On the other hand, I was too excited to sleep, because tomorrow, the New World server would be officially shut down. At that time, prices would. Knowing the market would plummet to its lowest point, I had to quickly use Bai Shuyi's luxury car to make another killing, and I absolutely couldn't let anyone discover my intentions. After all, with all this, I was sure some people in the game had secretly given me instructions. The next morning, sure enough, the announcement of the game's demise was released. The server Starry Night, which carried the New World, had reached its limit. Over the years, the company had invested nearly 100 billion yuan, so we had no ability to compensate or help the players. This announcement was tantamount to telling everyone that your items and equipment were worthless. The official website completely exploded, and all sorts of abusive posts flew everywhere. For me, this was undoubtedly the best time to acquire them. I immediately contacted Zhang Chunlin. Buy as many gold coins as you have at the lowest price. Hearing this, Zhang Chunlin couldn't help but be a little suspicious of Lu Chenxi. We've been best friends since childhood. Do you know some inside information? I'll leave you some useful information, and mess with the account too. Anyway, you definitely won't lose out in the future. Even if I say I'm reborn, he won't believe me. That's the only way I can persuade you. Just as Zhang Chunlin hung up the phone, my homeroom teacher called immediately. He angrily scolded me for selling my house and taking out loans to spend money on games. Even my classmates were sending messages in the group chat, mocking me as a spendthrift, and these chat logs were seen by Bai Shuyi. Why are your classmates saying such nasty things? Don't you care? I didn't plan to guard against him. After all, my current behavior is bound to attract some attention. So I said frankly, "Now, do you think I'm awesome?" Bai Shuyi even nodding, I finally asked the question I'd been pondering for a long time. Why do you still invest money in the game? Our guild leader also wants to know your thoughts. Bai Shuyi frankly revealed his identity as an undercover agent sent by the guild. I didn't answer his question. Instead, I told him about my loans and borrowing. Bai Shuyi was speechless after hearing this. Don't tell me it's for Yao Yao's dream. Only someone with that love-struck brain would be happy. I was somewhat helpless and could only make up a lie. I thought the game might still have a chance, or perhaps New World Company was forced by pressure to compensate us players. Then can I tell the guild leader to invest some money as well? Shui Mo, the guild leader of Shui Piao Qianli, I remember his account was eventually preserved. Plus, given his status as guild leader, he would definitely be one of the players after the game invaded the real world. I won't reveal too much. I am starting to eye Bai Shuyi's car. Your car seems to be a limited edition worldwide. You wouldn't be thinking of using it to borrow money, would you? Don't even think about it. If you're short of money, I can lend you a few million first. But what if you lose it all? What kind of future can you give Yao Yao? Bai Shuyi's words were all from the bottom of her heart. But what I didn't expect was that what seemed like an astronomical figure to me was a mere few million in her mouth. The money I had borrowed before, plus Liu Mengyao's secret stash, and now the few million promised by Bai Shuyi, added up to more than 10 million. Now I can finally go all out in the game and make a big splash. After talking to Bai Shuyi, I went back to my room and logged on, and Liu Mengyao was already waiting for me in the game. Upon meeting, I immediately outlined our pre-arranged plan. First, we'd clear the newly released South Heavenly Gate dungeon. Then, we'd seek help from Dao Jianxiao to craft our level 120 crafted equipment. And finally, we'd team up to clear the most difficult Heavenly Palace dungeon. Meanwhile, my inventory was flooded with various items and materials from Zhang Chunlin, including a full 100 eternal crystals. I took out 12, and after several hours of continuous enhancement, Liu Mengyao and I saw a significant boost to our equipment attributes. Our magic attack reached 70,000, and with the added damage from the mythical bird, we were more than capable of challenging the South Heavenly Gate dungeon. Before entering the dungeon, I checked the first clear leaderboard, which showed the first clear time. A 6-person team in 52 minutes. Today, I plan to surpass them because of the rewards for first place on the leaderboard. Each person received a supreme gift box. Liu Mengyao and I entered the dungeon and summoned 2 pets simultaneously. First, there were the small monsters, mostly giant apes. Liu Mengyao commanded the Stegosaurus to attract the giant apes aggro, while I immediately had the pig bird begin chanting and cast the talent skill Burning Skyland, instantly turning the entire area into a giant fire. Next came the forbidden spell Stormfield, which slowed all targets' movement speed by 50%. This was an invincible crowd control skill, instantly intensifying the fire. 10 minutes later, the ground was littered with the corpses of giant apes in the killing field created by the Stormfield and Burning Skyland. Liu Mengyao and I both reached level 102. Next, we had to clear out the elite monsters, a total of 16 giant ape generals. I quickly devised a plan. First, have the Stegosaurus attract aggro, then use the wind. The targeted skill Trachoma temporarily blinded the giant ape general, followed by a barrage of wind blades that dealt 130,000 damage in 5 seconds. The giant ape general's health plummeted, and he was finally finished off by the pig bird's fire attack. After dealing with these elite monsters, we immediately headed to the center of the map. A huge roar erupted from there. Who dares to help the heavenly palace obstruct this god of war? The giant ape king? Can he summon the giant ape armor? Can the sword dragon withstand it? Even if it can't, it has to. The giant ape king has 1 million health and 160,000 attack power. The sword dragon can only withstand 5 attacks. If all else fails, let the birds go up and tank at crucial moments. I made up my mind and went straight for it. The storm field covered the entire central battlefield. The birds immediately used the split sky skill. The roars of the battlefield behemoths continued. Liu Mengyao kept changing positions, following behind me to heal the Stegosaurus. Damn it, how dare some insignificant human dare to toy with this fighting god like this? The giant ape king, towering over 10 meters tall, stood up like a small mountain. He slammed his fist into the ground, causing it to crack and stretch all the way to our feet. Damage numbers appeared above our heads. This attack wiped out 40% of my health, and the Stegosaurus at the front was left with only a sliver of health. Looking at the Stegosaurus's precarious health, I said helplessly, "Looks like we need to find a stronger pet." Liu Mengyao nodded, casting another holy shield on the Stegosaurus, and we continued kiting and wearing down the giant ape king. Fortunately, there was still the storm field. Next, I went all out, ordering the pig bird to unleash its full power on the giant ape king. The pig bird, seeing itself smaller than the giant ape king's palm, trembled. It must have been thinking, I might not be human, but my master is definitely a dog. While the pig bird desperately resisted the attacks, I unleashed all my single target burst skills. My damage output in 5 minutes was more than double what it had been before, so I had the vermilion bird run and attack simultaneously. After enduring the giant ape's attacks, the vermilion bird's health bar finally emptied. Immediately afterward, the vermilion bird cried out to the sky, its entire body transforming into a large bird egg. The giant ape king was overjoyed, and immediately reached out, vermilion bird bloodline. This is a divine medicine. Meanwhile, I unleashed a barrage of wind blades, simultaneously pushing the pig bird egg towards myself, causing the giant ape king to miss. However, his words made my heart tighten. Could it be that the pig bird could be stolen when it entered rebirth mode? I quickly checked the pet status, and sure enough, the pig bird's recognized owner, slot, was empty. It seemed the giant ape king had a huge attraction to the pig bird, chasing after the egg without attacking me. So, I used magic to continuously push the pig bird egg away, while simultaneously unleashing sharp blades. 10 minutes later, the giant ape king's health bar was finally emptied, and the game announcement sounded. The dungeon was completed in 43 minutes and 52 seconds. Players received the Supreme Treasure Box as a dungeon leaderboard reward, and gained entry to the Heavenly Palace. Ding, congratulations to players Luli Chengxi and Mengli Yaoguang for being the first to clear the South Heavenly Gate dungeon, received a 100x experience reward. After obtaining the first clear of the new South Heavenly Gate dungeon, my gaze turned to the completion rewards. The hidden class, Skywalker, is a proof that you will become an all-around warrior and mage. Whether ranged or melee, you will be adept in any battle. This is the most difficult class in the game. I hesitated whether to change classes, since no hidden class has a unique set of equipment. You can only wear handcrafted gear. Then I looked at another hidden class, Liu Mengyao's priest class, the Lightbringer. Its special skill is Light Baptism, which heals teammates and deals damage to enemies. So I traded the class change certificate to her. Since hidden classes don't have mentors, Mengyao quickly completed the class change. Strangely, I had an extra quest. I was a little surprised. I had never heard of hidden classes having quests. The quest is saving the clan of Light Saintesses. The quest description is, in the ancient Temple of Light, there was a group of women collectively known as the Light Saintesses, but beneath their glamorous title, they were merely tools used by the priests for their own venting. Now they are facing a great disaster. Please go to their rescue as soon as possible, and guide them to find a new territory. The quest reward is the Light Saintess's Scepter, an artifact that grants the power to command the Light Saints. When I saw the mission description, I was stunned. The reward was amazing. To be able to command an entire race in the game, I immediately made up my mind that I had to do the mission, but I had to wait until I was done with this busy period, because I was flying to the headquarters of Dalian TikTok. During this time, my series of actions made me the focus of everyone in the game. Everyone was laughing at me for being a fool. The internet was flooded with news about me selling my house, taking out loans, and recharging the game. They even specially invited me to participate in an official live broadcast. In the live broadcast, I directly revealed the reason why I recharged millions when the game was about to shut down. At the same time, in a secret military base, high-ranking officials of the Dragon Kingdom were sitting together, looking at a video of me. What he said was too unbelievable. He actually said that he dreamed that the game world was going to invade reality. But what he said was not entirely nonsense. After all, a rock from outer space contained a game system. In the conference hall, everyone expressed their opinions. An old general interrupted their argument. This old man looked somewhat like Liu Mengyao. He was VE from the Blue Star Dragon Kingdom. General Liu Quan, preferring to believe it rather than not, actually believed me and arranged for a garrison to play this online game. My words caused quite a stir. The investment of buying a house and selling everything he owned was all because of a dream. But that's how this era is. Even a clown who gets exposure through live streaming will attract some fans. Dalian TikTok even offered a generous reward for bringing back the goods. Sure enough, the end of live streaming is selling goods. On the first day, I earned 8 million. On the second day, I maximized my live streaming time. Soon, it was April 26th. I set off back to Longhai. I only had 1 day left to get the level 120 crafted equipment and job change sorted. Then I waited for that moment to arrive. First, I mobilized Zhang Chunlin's studio, sending dozens of accounts to major cities to frantically customize crafted equipment. I wanted to use quantity to redeem the 9-star crafted items. I exchanged all the remaining funds for soul crystals. Tomorrow was the day of great change. At this time, the outside world was undergoing tremendous changes. Summer in Guangdong. It started snowing. I quickly turned on the TV, and sure enough, abnormal weather was happening everywhere. A super tsunami had occurred in Yinjiang, and the entire Shioshan region in the east was experiencing hail the size of fists. Overnight, the entire Blue Star seemed to be in chaos. What kind of weather is this? I complained, and he said that hundreds of thousands of sets of crafted equipment had been crafted, and 29-star gems had been synthesized. I didn't say much, logged into the game, collected all the items in my mail, and started using the Heavenly Palace crystal to extract the attributes I wanted to craft. 20 minutes later, the only set of level 120 crafted equipment in the entire New World online game was freshly forged. Then I immediately changed my class to Skywalker. I was very satisfied with the class description. In addition to the dual physical and magical attack feature, E, I could also learn most forbidden spell skills, E, so I chose a skill book. Forbidden Spell 7-star energy gathering. After activation, I would gain a star energy bar that lasted for 3 minutes, accumulating up to 7-star energy, which could provide a 500-yard teleportation effect. During the teleportation, I would be invincible, which meant that I had super strong escape ability. At this time, Liu Mengyao also logged in. I immediately changed his equipment and then opened the newly released overall ranking list. This list is very important because it relates to the game abilities I can inherit after the game invades reality, so I maintained the top spot on all the lists. I glanced at the list and found that most of the players on it were heartbroken players who had quit the game. Soon it was time to set off for the Heavenly Palace dungeon. Liu Mengyao immediately invited Bai Shuyi in, and I also pulled Zhang Chunlin in. As soon as Bai Shuyi joined the team, she said, "It's so scary here. It's hailing outside, killing people. Have you noticed that extreme weather is very common in the game? You're not thinking that. Your dream is going to come true, are you? You can use a VPN to check it out on the internet. I estimate that by the time the game shuts down, the internet will be down at that moment. Let's get going." After saying that, we each headed to the mission location. No one spoke along the way. Everyone was obviously frantically trying to improve their overall score. I killed monsters all the way and reached 100 points, which meant that after the game invaded reality tomorrow, I would inherit 100% of the attributes and abilities in the game. Liu Mengyao reached 99 points, which meant 99% inheritance. The lower the ranking, the lower the inherited ability. Soon we cleared the most difficult Heavenly Palace dungeon, and the 4 of us topped the leaderboard. However, what made us happiest was that the previously unlocked mission of saving the Holy Maiden of Light was also unexpectedly completed. At this moment, countless Holy Maidens of Light knelt down in worship to Liu Mengyao. But the game server shutdown was brought forward by an hour. The game announcement that the server was about to shut down appeared in front of everyone. Liu Mengyao also messaged me saying she was going offline and to call me immediately if anything happened. I gave her a serious instruction, then logged out of the game and went to the window. The sky was pitch black. Suddenly, I heard a clear chirping sound. The call of a bird. I opened my eyes abruptly. Countless monsters descended from the sky, and terrified screams filled the streets. In my room, the birds were perched on my bed. I was fully equipped in the game. At that moment, I felt an endless surge of power within me. The moment had finally arrived. My gaze locked onto the sky above the neighborhood, a monster wreaking havoc. In the game, it was only a level 65 monster, but in reality, it could easily raise a house to the ground. Boss, come to, the school quickly. A level 100 monster appeared here. I'm a knight, and I'm afraid I can't handle it. Even if I can't withstand it, I'll hold on, as long as it's not a boss. I can handle it. Just as I hung up the phone, Liu Mengyao called. She was also quite frightened by the sudden apocalypse. She was very worried about her grandfather at the military base. I could only tell her not to wander around and wait for me to go find him, because the entire terrain of Blue Star had changed drastically. Cities were now much farther apart, the old maps were useless, and the satellites in the sky had long been destroyed. Fortunately, Liu Mengyao was quite obedient. She would do whatever I told her to do. Right, I think I can feel Kong Yan and the others getting closer and closer to me. Liu Mengyao said something that gave me a strange feeling. Kong Yan was one of the NPCs I had previously purchased at a high price. They had been helping me protect Tianyue City. I sensed that Tianyue City was nearby, so buying it seemed worthwhile. Whether the Sanctes clan would continue to be loyal to Liu Mengyao remained to be seen until I found Tianyue City. I'll wait for your message, I said, and Liu Mengyao hung up. Then I called Bai Shuyi. Because Shanghai is on the maritime front, monsters should be most concentrated there. Fortunately, there was good news. Even the army had inherited the game's strength and was resisting the sea monster attack. After dealing with things here, I met up with Liu Mengyao and told her to Uncle Bai. Then, I broke out of the window and went outside the community. I discovered that it wasn't just one monster, but hundreds of level 65 eagles. It had become an eagle gathering place, with people everywhere shouting. The screams of alarm had already made many people the monster's meal. Most of the residents huddled in the basketball court, trembling with fear. Just as despair gripped them, a pig bird's cry drew everyone's attention. A man stood in the sky, and wings sprouted from his back. After the game descended into reality, I inherited everything from the game. Even the pet possession mechanic remained unchanged. My pet, the flying rat, possessed me, granting me flight. I floated in the air, my heavenly sword gleaming, and then, with a single strike, I hunted down the horned beasts. Then, I summoned the Snow Maiden, freezing all the horned beasts. The survivors were stunned. Was this a movie? Seeing that it was safe, after lingering a bit, I headed straight for the school with the Snow Maiden. Shortly after I left, a military squad entered the residential area. They were one of the few units in Longhai City to have inherited the game's abilities. Seeing the frozen hyenas, the captain immediately realized something was wrong. This was an ice-type freezing skill. The game's duration was clearly only 8 seconds. Never mind, let's hurry to the school to support the company commander. In the entire Longhai City, there's only one company like ours. How many people can we save? So time is life. At this moment, squad leader Liu Bing was covered in blood, having fought his way through monsters. The gymnasium of the University of Science and Technology was packed with people, and outside, monster roars echoed everywhere. The Longhai Special Forces First Company was the only main force in the area. They had all received orders to take advantage of the sharp drop in prices to develop, but unfortunately, time was still too short. They only inherited 7 Level 0 equipment and attributes. Brothers, if they want to enter the stadium, they'll have to step over our corpses. Don't forget, we are the guardians of the Dragon Kingdom. Just then, a golden warhorse neighed and charged straight at the monster horde. It was Zhang Chunlin. The students finally saw a glimmer of hope, but before they could even celebrate, the adjacent teaching building suddenly collapsed, and a gigantic demonic dragon appeared in everyone's sight. A level 80 boss, nearly 100 meters tall, was also in the picture. Lu Chengxi. That dream is real. He invested so much money in the game. Why didn't he come to save me? Yatenglong had just finished speaking when the vermilion bird appeared in the sky outside. I flapped my wings and stood in front of the dark demonic dragon. How can you fly? Pet possession. You can try it too. The dark dragon before me seemed to sense the insult and let out a deafening roar. This scene felt like a reincarnation. In my past life, he was so arrogant, while I was trampled like an ant. But in this life, I stood before him. 30 years east of the river, 30 years west of the river. Never underestimate a young man's potential. The heavenly mystery sword in my hand flashed, unleashing a forbidden spell. The heavenly mystery sword instantly cleaved the dragon in two. The brief exchange left everyone present speechless. There were still many ordinary monsters around, so I sent Xuan Nu to clear them out while I collected the spoils of the dragon's death. Zhuo Niao sucked a glowing bead from the dragon's head, and I also stored the dragon scales and wings in my storage ring. You protect the students, I said. I'll clear a path ahead. With that, I charged outwards. I went outside because I sensed the existence of Tianyu City. It wasn't just Tianyu City. The entire blue star was expanding wildly, hundreds of times larger than before. A landmass had appeared out of nowhere in the Pacific Ocean, its area even larger than the 7 continents. Countless cities descended from the sky, and everything was reborn upon landing. However, during this process, several cities flew off in different directions, including Tianyue City. Soldiers escorted teachers, students and civilians from the school to safety. Meanwhile, inside a school bus, Ye Tenglong, relying on his brother's 3 million yuan loan, was swaggering among the students. You all benefited from my influence this time. You'd better be sensible from now on. Hearing Ye Tenglong's words, Zhang Chunlin slapped him across the face. My boss came to save everyone. That's his mercy. If you dare to talk nonsense again, I'll throw you out right now. Ye Tenglong, the young prince of the Longhai underworld, had never been treated like this before. Believe me or not, I'll have Lu Chengxi kill you. He still owes my brother 3 million. Zhang Chunlin was so angry he almost laughed. He took out his phone and said, I've transferred 10 million to you. Now get out of the car. He then kicked Ye Tenglong out of the car. Through the car window, they could see a monster in the distance, emitting a green glow. Clearly, Ye Tenglong was in grave danger. Zhang Chunlin coldly stared at everyone. Now everyone understands, right? This world has changed. It's an era of the survival of the fittest, where the strong are respected. As he spoke, Zhang Chunlin looked at a teacher. This teacher had often caused him trouble in class. After Ye Tenglong's incident, coupled with Zhang Chunlin's words, everyone understood. What exactly is everyone's situation? The only reason they're alive is because they're human. And this vehicle is just the beginning of a world-changing event. A massive catastrophe is about to unfold across 200 countries and regions on Earth, affecting over 7 billion people. This could be a long and arduous process. No one knows what awaits them. I've arrived at the gates of Tianyue City. Catwoman and the knights are already waiting to pay their respects to the city lord. I smiled with satisfaction. The NPCs I hired are still loyal. Judging from Catwoman and the knights' reactions, when Zhang Chunlin and his soldiers arrived with a convoy, they stared in shock at the scene before them. A city hundreds of meters high, well-equipped knight and mage orders, and even the Saintis clan expressed their respect to me. Your benefactor, the Divine Censor, and his family are also under attack by monsters. We hope you can help rescue him. As soon as I finished speaking, Saintess Kong Yan vanished from her spot. Less than a minute later, I heard a familiar voice. Lu Chenji. I looked at the woman standing before me. She was so beautiful, I couldn't find the right words to describe her. Liu Mengyao opened her arms and hugged me. This was our first meeting in real life. Jiang Tingting, the prettiest girl in the convoy, stared intently at us as we embraced. At this moment, outside Tianyue City, a steady stream of vehicles, guided by soldiers, were heading this way. The number of people reached approximately 100,000. We have done our best to rescue the people. Currently, the entire Longhai City. After the city fell, I asked the city lord for instructions on the next steps. The garrison commander, Long Lin, approached me and gave a standard military salute. He also brought shocking news. The military headquarters had also been attacked by monsters, as had other countries. The entire government of Blue Star was paralyzed. Upon hearing this news, Liu Mengyao was very worried about her grandfather. When she learned that Liu Mengyao was the granddaughter of General Liu Quan, Long Lin immediately bowed to her. City lord, he said, I want to lead the soldiers to find and rescue the general. I will definitely go to find Mengyao's grandfather, but if you are determined to go, I will not stop you. Of course, everyone is the same. You can leave if you want. The following words were addressed to everyone who came to Tianyue City. I don't want to accept just anyone. The reason I bought Tianyue City was to build a human base. But what I need are obedient and capable people. Staying in Tianyue City is safe, but everything must be done according to my arrangements. Zhang Chunlin will be the deputy city lord from now on. If you want to survive, but don't want to obey, you can leave now. Zhang Chunlin is very suitable to be the villain. Let him decide who can stay. Tianyue City is temporarily in his hands. I will have the 3 Tianyue legions assist him, and then I will go to rescue Liu Quan. However, I don't know how chaotic the outside world is right now, because I saw a message from Bai Shuyi an hour ago. Zombies have appeared in Shanghai. And Shui Mo, the guild leader of Shui Piaoqianli, also sent a message. A level 110 boss, a necromancer, has appeared in his area. He has turned the dead into undead and occupied a large part of the city. Although Bai Shuyi didn't say anything, I didn't know how the zombies appeared, but I immediately guessed it was the work of the disgraced boss in the game. He was only a level 70 boss, but his contagiousness was a nightmare for humans. So I sought out High Priest Kong Yi, offering him a piece of territory in exchange for his help in saving Liu Mengyao's grandfather. After all, Liu Mengyao was the most important person to him. He didn't care about the lives of others. Then I sent Liu Mengyao along, while I had to rush to Shanghai. There, the insect-eating king who creates zombies had appeared. If we didn't deal with him quickly, he might infect Tianyue City. This time, we had to eliminate the insect-eating king. At this moment, a strong apocalyptic atmosphere enveloped the entire human race on Blue Star. Shanghai, once the most prosperous city in the Dragon Kingdom, now had its skyscrapers collapsed, and the entire city was shrouded in panic. The streets were filled with lifeless figures, already infected and turned into zombies. Of course, as the most prosperous city, Shanghai also had many players who inherited the game's abilities. Bai Shuyi wasn't fighting alone. He was currently teaming up with a group of people to deal with a level 120 boss. These people were all level 110, which Bai Shuyi didn't think they were very strong, but Bai Shuyi wasn't confident that he could defeat a level 120 boss alone. These were all men, and Bai Shuyi had asked their names, i.e. Xiaoyan, Shi Hao, and Tong Shan. He felt that the names were a bit strange, but Bai Shuyi didn't think much of it. At this time, humans must unite. However, what he didn't expect was that just as he was about to deliver the final blow to the boss, the three of them suddenly joined forces to attack him. Caught completely off guard, Bai Shuyi was struck and severely injured, falling from the building to the ground, struggling even to stand. We've struck gold. Not only did we kill a level 120 boss, but we also caught a pretty girl. The boss is yours, E. Let me enjoy myself first. To Bai Shuyi's surprise, even in the face of the apocalypse, human greed remained unchanged. Her teammates had actually ambushed her. Severely injured, Bai Shuyi knelt on the ground, roaring at this critical juncture. Instead of helping humanity, you're trying to harm me. As a Valkyrie, I don't want to be humiliated. Struggling to her feet, Bai Shuyi prepared for a desperate fight. Just then, voice came from behind the alley. So, you menopausal people are hiding here. Back in the game, are you targeting me? Why haven't you made a move yet? Chengxi Lu saw it was me and ran away. But it was too late. The crucial flames had already hit him, but at that moment, two figures grabbed him and rushed directly into the zombie horde on the street. I weighed my options and ultimately gave up chasing these gold diggers because the boss was already low on health. Then, I flashed behind the giant monster and, with the help of the pigbird skills, killed it. At this moment, a soul floated out, and I grabbed it and swallowed it. Let me test what the use of the soul cultivation I obtained from the previous dungeon is. The next second, my soul cultivation bottleneck began to show signs of loosening. 10 minutes later, I suddenly opened my eyes, and my whole body exuded a sharp aura. I directly broke through to the 6th level of spirit cultivation. My soul level also reached 121. There's no level cap in the game, and this was my first time absorbing a soul from outside a dungeon. It was indeed much more powerful than the phantom soul in the game. Seeing Bai Shuyi was seriously injured, I gave her a powerful tonic. After taking it, her health slowly recovered. I smiled and held a pill in my hand, asking if she wanted another super powerful tonic. Bai Shuyi couldn't help but roll her eyes, but we were still in danger. Without further greetings or conversation, we quickly plunged back into the battle. Finally, after slaughtering a street full of zombies, we reached the level 70 boss, Lion City King. In my eyes, Lion City King was a piece of cake to kill. I casually swung my sword and killed him, at which point a strange item dropped. The props had a peculiar evil purpose. They were presumably used to create zombies. After the Lion City King was defeated, monsters from the surrounding area flocked to this place. The two of us killed wave after wave, seemingly endless. However, during this battle, I suddenly noticed some figures standing in the clouds above the sky. I felt a strange unease. I had never experienced this reaction, not even when facing a level 150 boss. Suddenly, I heard Bai Shuyi scream beside me. I quickly looked over. It turned out that we had unknowingly reached the seashore. Monster blood flowed into the ocean, and a huge siren, smelling the blood, charged out. I quickly told Bai Shuyi to retreat with me, because I couldn't tell the siren's level, indicating that the siren was much higher than us. The siren leaped from the sea and swallowed a giant dragon monster whole, a level 130 boss over 100 meters tall. Without hesitation, I grabbed Cypress and turned to leave. The demon city was inevitably doomed. Even though I was the top player in the game, the strength of these monsters meant that if the Holy Maiden clan didn't intervene, even Tianyue City would be in grave danger. You beast, how dare you cross the border and plunder my dragon-scale kingdom's magical beasts? If you don't come in, I'll eat a mouthful of poison. Dragon America. Do. You want to start a war with my Siren clan? Now shed your armor, and I'll pretend nothing happened. He was clad in golden armor, and, wielding a golden spear. The normally volatile monsters instantly quieted down. Seeing that the other was about to attack, the Siren actually returned to the water. At this moment, the man landed on an incredibly powerful aura suddenly appeared before me, causing the surrounding air to freeze. I steadied myself, suppressing my fear. Thank you for your help. I did not intend to enter the territory of the Dragon Tomb Kingdom. I will not disturb your inspection. With that, I pulled Bai Shuyi away. You are not citizens of the Dragon Tomb Kingdom. You are all from Blue Star, aren't you? The soldiers of the Dragon Tomb Kingdom suddenly became alert. Two beams of light shone down, and the soldiers hurriedly surrounded us. Shuyi, are you here too? I immediately bowed to Kong Yan and Liu Mengyao, then looked at the old man, Liu Quan, beside Liu Mengyao. I saw that his armor was covered in blood, indicating that he had also been through a battle. Golden Spear, governor of Zhenhai province of the Dragon Tomb Kingdom, greets the two seniors of the Holy Maiden Clan of Light. I wonder if you intend to seek guidance in my dragon-scale kingdom. We, the Holy Maiden Clan, will reside in his Tianyue city. Upon hearing this, Jinqiang turned to look at me. Since you are the lord of Tianyue city, why do you not bow to me? I cupped my hands in a salute, but my mind was filled with questions. Where did this Jinqiang come from? What was going on with the Dragon Neighbor Kingdom? It didn't seem like a game invasion of Blue Star, but rather a long-planned invasion by several powerful forces. This place should now be called the Blue Star Realm. Previously, the Dragon Kingdom's southeastern region comprised 8 provinces, which have now been divided under our Dragon Mausoleum Kingdom. As for the monsters in various places, from now on, you are not allowed to indiscriminately slaughter them. You can only hunt them after they have divided the territory. We are not allowed to kill these monsters. Are we just going to let them slaughter us Blue Star people at will? We already gave them the opportunity before they arrived. Gaining the spiritual power to fight monsters within 20 years is something you yourselves gave up. Hearing this, I understood a bit. Sure enough, there's something wrong with this online game, New World. I'm afraid everyone on Blue Star is already caught in a trap. Only you in Zhenhai province bought a city. I, the Holy Lord, acknowledge you as the Lord of Tianlei City. From now on, you are my man, Jinqiang. Do you understand? Thank you for your appreciation, Holy Lord Jin. I know the principle of being under someone else's roof. Moreover, this is only because of Kong Yan, a third-rank divine envoy. Jinqiang is only being polite to me. After that, I didn't say much, and the group began to return to Tianlei City. Grandpa Liu, do you have any news from Blue Star regarding the various countries? I called him Grandpa, which made Liu Mengyao next to me pout. Except for the United States and the United Kingdom, which are still resisting, all the countries on Blue Star have fallen. The current borders of the Dragon Kingdom. The territory spans at least hundreds of millions of square kilometers. Longling Kingdom occupies 8 southeastern provinces, larger than the entire landmass of Blue Star before. Moreover, Jinqiang's strength is at the peak of the 2nd rank, and the soldiers are all above level 150. And this is only one province of Longling Kingdom. Lu Quan shook his head and sighed. The straightforward Bai Shuyi said indignantly, "We can't always be slaughtered like this." Although that Jinqiang said he would accept us, he kept calling us Blue Star people, and his tone was full of contempt. Now that we have this Tianyue city, we will respect Lu Chenxi as the city lord, and then establish new systems to unite everyone and strive for survival. Our Saintess clan will not stay. We will also take the divine censors to new territories because we have suitable cultivation methods for them. A divine censor, like you, only appears once every 1,000 years. The City Lord is a unique hidden class, just like the Skywalker. I was stunned when I heard this. There was no such description in the job certificate I received. But in Kong Yan's words, the Skywalker seemed extremely powerful. So, is this why I was recognized by the Golden Spear? But before I could rejoice, Kong Yan continued. Although the Skywalker's future is smooth sailing, they will also face increasing targeting. Furthermore, the future of Blue Star will not be peaceful. Nations will inevitably wage war against each other. The divine censors need a stable cultivation environment. It was clear that Kong Yan was thinking of Liu Mengyao's best interests. However, I was still hesitant because I wanted to temporarily let the Sanctus clan act as a protective umbrella for Tianyue City. Just then, the Knight Commander, Long Jiang, ran over to avoid the situation. It turned out that he had discovered there's another mountain range in the mine, the Soul Mountain Range. I was still a little confused, but Kong Yan couldn't help but stand up. Beneath the Soul Mountain Range, there must be a dragon vein that can produce soul crystals. Could you spare a Soul Mountain Range for our Holy Maiden clan as territory? That way, our divine censors can follow us, and we'll be closer to your Tianyue City. I was overjoyed. This would be perfect for keeping the Holy Maiden clan here, but the conditions need to be negotiated. When we returned and arrived at the mine, we were stunned. Even flying in the sky, the view seemed boundless. I can give you a mountain peak as territory, but the Holy Maiden clan must form an alliance with Tianyue City. Furthermore, any outstanding disciples from Tianyue City can be sent to the Holy Maiden clan for training. If you can give up an extra mountain peak, we could agree. Kong Yan was a good negotiator, but I still nodded without hesitation. After all, the entire Soul Mine had 9 mountain ranges. Now, with the umbrella and the mine, there was the trial tower inside Tianyue City, and some pretty good monster areas outside the city. Plus, I had a lot of equipment and other resources in my warehouse. The key elements for development were all there. Immediately afterwards, I ordered the 3 legions to be stationed at the gold mine and the soul mine respectively. Then, I had Zhang Chunlin arrange for people to come and mine. I would only take 10% of the ore mined by each person and give it to the city lord's mansion. As for the ore that everyone had, I would exchange it for various game resources, including some equipment and skill books. I was not stingy with this, because I wanted to lead the Blue Star people from scratch to rise again amidst the disaster. Fortunately, I had purchased the city has established a set of rules centered around the city lord. I don't force those who don't want to be dependent on others to stay. Everyone who stays has the opportunity to earn what they want through labor. There are also secondary profession mentors in Tianyue City. I provide opportunities for everyone, but I won't give away resources for free. Houses in Tianyue City require rent. I rely on these people to help me actively mine and keep the entire city running. At 11 p.m., many airships appeared outside Tianyue City. They landed directly on the square. I led a group of people to welcome them. Many Blue Star people and the Dragon Scale Kingdom's sea-suppressing god, Jin Qiang, were brought down from the airships. The difference was that he was surrounded not by soldiers, but by some prominent figures. I stepped forward to express my welcome. Tianyue City Lord, pay respects to the provincial lord. At this moment, a female voice rang out. Before coming to this planet, you actually knew to buy a city. My name is Mia, and I will be managing the Zhenhai Province Chamber of Commerce from now on. I find it strange that Blue Star was conquered on the very first day, and the people he brought with him must have come at a price. I became wary. Inside the city lord's mansion, I had dishes served to entertain them, and even gave the head seat to Jin Qiang. After some polite exchanges, Jin Qiang got straight to the point. The mines in the Tianyue Mountains are quite large, and we need the Chamber of Commerce to settle in Tianyue City. The 8 major families will pay a monthly tribute of 30 million gold coins and 3 million soul crystals. Tianyue City's mines are larger, and its population is much larger than theirs. City Lord Lin, how much do you think we should give? Sure enough, there's no such thing as a free lunch. How much do you want, Shengju? I turned the question back on him. Anyway, Tianyue City, there's no bargaining power here. 5 million soul crystals. 50 million gold coins. This city lord can hold off the zombie horde for 10 days. My goal is for everyone to get rich together. Don't think all this money goes into my pocket. The Dragon Tomb Kingdom also pays a lot of tribute to the Divine Court every year. This provincial lord desires stability more than you do. I almost laughed. Countless homes have been destroyed, and now you're talking about stability? The zombie horde is the only threat to Golden Spear. Within 10 days, can the people of Tianyue City proactively clear out the bosses in the surrounding area? After all, they are original inhabitants of Blue Star and have no experience fighting large bosses. Hearing this, Golden Spear smiled. If Tianyue City gives double the tribute every month, this provincial lord will agree. I could only nod helplessly, trying to give everyone 10 days to develop. Only in this way can we face the zombie horde in 10 days. After agreeing on the terms, Jinqiang and the others didn't linger and left. I immediately convened a meeting and ordered everyone to mobilize, mining at night and leveling up during the day. I also recruited 10,000 blacksmith apprentices to forge equipment from level 1 to 30, ensuring that these people could reach level 30 or higher before the zombie horde arrived. Suddenly, Zhang Chunlin stood up and suggested that level 30 might be far from enough. He needed to gather a group of people who had inherited game abilities to help, such as Shuemo. "Have you contacted Shuemo?" he asked. Shuemo also has a city, located in the Frozen Kingdom. They will be facing the zombie horde tomorrow. As he spoke, he took out his phone, which was almost out of battery. It'll probably break down before the battery's completely depleted, but I've prepared some power banks, which should be enough for a while. He then charged his phone. Bai Shuyi sent a message. "Don't waste it. We can't generate electricity now, so it seems we can't count on Bai Shuyi. But I thought of a good idea. Use soul crystals as payment to have the Saintess clan help ordinary people level up, while I go to the snow desert to help. I need more information now, such as the relationship between the Frozen Kingdom and the Dragonscale Kingdom, and the strength of the monsters in the world tide. After making a decision, I plan to go see Bai Shuyi. After all, if the Blue Star humans want to survive, they must find new ways." Before setting off, I found Zhang Chunlin and gave him some instructions. "You will assist Liu Mengyao in staying in Changzhou Prefecture to continue managing and settling everyone, and organizing a group of people to kill monsters and level up." At this time, I had already left Zhenhai Province and was heading towards the Dragon Forest at an extremely fast speed. On my way to the border of the country, I heard the sounds of fighting in the forest. It was a lightning mage's heavenly thunder spell versus an electric mage's lightning leap from the new world. Could it be that the people fighting below were all from Earth? Thinking of this, I stopped and used my speed advantage to silently enter the dense forest, hiding in a large tree. Looking at the battle below, I realized it was those gold diggers chasing a little girl. I didn't expect this little internet celebrity to be so powerful. It seems you invested quite a bit in the days before the game invasion. Now it's going to be my bargain. Looking at this woman, she looks like a little loli, probably hasn't even had a boyfriend yet. Hearing this, Lin Xiaoya was very angry. The lightning in her hand exploded with a bang and instantly appeared in front of Xiaoyan. The lightning continued to leap, but Xiaoyan and his two companions, they dodged away, each trying to escape. Xiaoyan licked his lips, as if he were seeing something delicious. Just then, he sensed movement behind him. A dark figure flashed past, and with a single strike, killed the figure. The other two were shocked. I revealed myself in the darkness. "I heard you were going to give me a surprise." They didn't expect that even after escaping Zhenhai Province, I could still catch up. After seeing who it was, Lin Xiaoya almost jumped for joy. "Brother Liu Chenxi, I'm your fan," but I didn't have time to reply. The next second, I appeared behind the fleeing number 10 and Tang Shan. After taking care of one of them, I interrogated the last person. "Where was the gold digger? And who was your leader?" "You'll never know, boss. Who are you? And we'll kill you all." He laughed and then said it himself. I was speechless. These people are a bunch of lunatics, but I didn't take it to heart. Another problem, however, was giving me a real headache. I saw Lin Xiaoya grab my hand. I knew I would definitely find you. There were so many monsters outside. When I rushed back to save my parents, I found that we were surrounded by monsters. I was speechless. Now Lin Xiaoya was completely entangled with me. Ice Snow City is the main city of the Snowflake's Thousand Miles Guild. After the game invaded reality, it also descended on the city where Snow Desert is located. He had actually made some preparations. He privately messaged some of his guild members, asking them not to sell their accounts. Now in Ice Snow City, besides the recruited level 120 mercenary group, there are more than 600 game players. The inheritors of these abilities all maintained a strength of around level 90. The members of the Thousand Miles Guild were almost entirely female, but there were still quite a few men, mostly the partners of the girls in the Snow Desert Guild. Plus, Snow Desert had saved many men, so the population of Ice City now exceeded 100,000. However, compared to Tianyue City, Snow Desert hadn't received support from the Frost Fruit. On the contrary, its tax revenue was double that of Tianyue City. At this moment, Snow Desert's expression wasn't good. As time passed, dawn drew closer, and the beast tide in the distance outside the city began to stir. Then, Snow Desert saw some figures of people from the Frost Kingdom above the dark clouds in the sky. They were a group of white elves, and their attire and appearance were vastly different from those of the Dragon Tomb Kingdom. I also noticed this when I arrived at the Frost Kingdom checkpoint. I soon discovered this was the land of the White Elves, where both men and women possessed breathtaking beauty. Even the guard general was a female elf, who introduced herself as General Muir. She inquired about our purpose in coming to the Frozen Kingdom. I replied that I was searching for a friend and would leave on my own later. Hearing this, he didn't seem to mind, but suddenly said with a half-smile, "I hope you'll keep your word. I don't want you, a Skywalker, to cause me any big trouble." This left me somewhat confused. Could it be that the Skywalker profession was so difficult to cultivate because it involved great trouble? I didn't think much of it, and quickened my pace, because I noticed an endless river flowing through the border region. Lin Xiaoya asked curiously, "Is this the Yellow River?" My expression immediately changed because my speed wasn't slow. I could maintain 500 km/h. At a speed of 1.5 seconds, it would take an entire night to cross the Yellow River. Standing atop the city wall, Shui Mo addressed the crowd with a grave expression. This war isn't like a game where you die and resurrect in 5 minutes. Shui Mo's words were a devastating blow to everyone. In reality, death is irreversible unless there are special means, such as the High Priest of Light or Holy Priest, advanced classes, possessing skills that can bring the dead back to life. Ordinary priests can only heal. Furthermore, the monster siege would last at least 50 steps, with each monster increasing in strength, potentially culminating in a level 150 boss. Shui Mo had no confidence whatsoever, but the monster siege had already begun. He could only put aside all distractions and immediately arrange for reinforcements. The monsters at the front weren't yet high level. Everyone worked together to defend the city walls until the 10th wave, preventing the monsters from even touching them. However, the first vanguard appeared, an 80-level dark dragon. Shui Mo personally led the hundreds of people in a massive attack to defeat the dark dragon. In that brief moment, the monsters began to surge in like a tide. The monsters had now reached level 55, and their numbers were increasing with each wave. From this point on, Ice and Snow City began to feel the pressure. They held on until the 19th wave, when a breach appeared in the city walls. Although the breach wasn't large, it put considerable pressure on many people. After all, there were still ordinary people without any power within Ice and Snow City, and their parents were inside. Even if it meant death, they had to keep the monsters out of the city. At this moment, there was no need for blood and gore to spread. Whether driven by personal emotion or love for their parents and compatriots, the fortification troops jumped off the city walls, because if the walls collapsed, ranged monsters could directly attack the people inside the city. The entire Ice and Snow City's defenders were also infected by the soldiers' aura. Even the priest's healing speed increased significantly. It turned out that boosting morale could reduce skill casting time, but he wasn't surprised. Soon, a huge sound exploded in everyone's ears, and then a level 120 Thunder Beast appeared before them. Only the 20th wave and a level 120 boss had appeared. Ice and Snow City's current capabilities were simply insufficient to withstand it. Shui Mo looked up at the sky. His eyes were practically murderous. He knew it was these elite. The spirits were clearly up to no good, not wanting to give Ice City a way out. Shui Mo had no choice but to grit his teeth and continue. The staff in his hand emitted a dazzling light, and a magic seal appeared in front of him. This was a forbidden spell of the Elementalist, the 5 Elements Magic Circle, which produced negative effects such as burning and suffocation on the enemy. It was a control-oriented magic circle, so even though Shui Mo had trapped the Thunder Beast, it was difficult to damage it. However, Shui Mo had helpers. Hundreds of mages unleashed various skills. The scene was comparable to a large-scale boss fight. After a round of damage, the Thunder Beast still had 46% health left, and the magic circle still had 5 minutes of duration. Shui Mo's face instantly darkened. If he couldn't kill it now, the next round of monsters would die, and the casualties would be extremely heavy. At this moment, everyone in Ice City, their hearts were filled with despair. This was their last home. But now they couldn't hold it any longer. It seemed like it was all over. Beautiful Princess Moyi. Shall we go back? However, Moyi felt nauseous. She stood up without speaking, her face cold, intending to leave early. But at that moment, I spread my wings in the distant sky, carrying Lin Xiaoya on my back, and flew quickly over, landing directly above Ice and Snow City. Then I instantly disappeared from my spot, reappearing behind the Thunder Beast. Several forbidden spells were cast simultaneously, instantly blasting away more than 1,000,000 of the Thunder Beast's health. The Thunder Beast collapsed to the ground with a bang. I was done for. Not only him, but everyone in Ice and Snow City was deeply moved, because it took thousands of people to reduce its health by more than half. In just a few breaths, the wings were dealt with. Is this man an angel? So it was a possession, but he's actually the legendary Skywalker, which is quite unexpected. He turned around and sat down again. Seeing Moy like this, all the elves continued to observe the scene below from the sky. There wasn't much time for catching up. I just found Shui Mo and introduced Lin Xiaoya to him. The 21st wave of monsters started attacking again. At this rate, if a few more Thunder Beasts came today, my soul might reach level 9. I thought happily to myself. The 20th wave was just some small monsters, which gave my forbidden spell skill a cooldown period. I summoned the pig bird directly. This is an ancient pig bird. Why would the pig bird be willing to follow him? Moi's expression became very complicated. Monsters in front of Ice and Snow City. The corpses of the monsters fell one by one, mainly because my output was too high, almost instantly killing all of these small monsters. My speed was also extremely fast, like a ghostly phantom. My experience points continued to increase. By the time the 30th wave boss appeared, I had reached level 122. This time the boss was a level 120 gold-devouring beast. Among the various monsters invading Blue Star, this kind of creature was the most dangerous, because Blue Star was mostly covered in steel buildings. They had all become their food source, allowing the gold-devouring beast to grow rapidly. Crucially, these guys were made entirely of heavy metal, and their defensive attributes were ridiculously high. However, metal's weakness is fire. Just then, the vermilion bird showed its power. I instantly activated Stormfield E, while Blood Foam used a magic circle to trap. The vermilion bird, the gold, devouring beast, served as an aerial artillery platform. Various magically imbued flames relentlessly lashed at it, and, in less than 5 minutes, the gold-devouring beast was completely melted in the sea of fire. I, on the other hand, immediately seized the soul and devoured it without hesitation. The next moment I closed my eyes. My soul cultivation had broken through to the 7th level. Won't these Blue Star people really get through the beast tide? Your Highness Moi, are you truly willing to let the Blue Star people's cities stand within the White Elf Kingdom? As long as the rules allow, they can become part of the Frost Kingdom. This is an unchangeable fact. His expression was also somewhat unpleasant. His country was about to gain another city-state of a different race, and even when the population reached a certain number, they could enjoy the right to participate in council decision-making. This was also the reason why this tide has attracted such attention from the Frozen Kingdom is different from that of the Dragon Tomb Kingdom. The Frozen Kingdom is a parliamentary system, and the power of the parliament is even greater than that of the queen. He has actually broken through to the soul realm again, and his soul cultivation has reached the 7th level. Doesn't that mean our plan has failed? We must increase the difficulty of the tide again. Let's just lure some bosses. Mo Yi closed his eyes and did not respond, indicating that he had not heard anything. Seeing Mo Yi's reaction, Erhus hardened his heart and left the airship. After he left, Mo Yi opened his eyes and looked at Erhus's back. He smiled, and then turned his gaze to the Ice and Snow City below. It seems to be getting more and more interesting. The cries of monsters outside the Ice and Snow City once again made everyone pay attention. When they saw the scene outside the city, their eyes widened in disbelief. This time, 8 enormous monsters had appeared, all of them bosses. Previously, the highest difficulty level for the 40th wave boss in the game was only 130. Now, 2 level 130 bull demons and 6 level 120 wind beasts had appeared. Should we give up? If this continues, by wave 100, we'll likely face an unprecedentedly powerful enemy. It must be those elves again, causing trouble. With the strength of the Frozen Kingdom, the elves should have many ways to wipe out your ice city within its borders. Why are they using this beast tide? Is it because they can't do anything to us except for the beast tide? Since the game's invasion, we have never seen them attack us proactively. There must be some reason that limits their methods against us, and their use of monsters is completely unpredictable. In other words, shouldn't we also stop being bound by convention? Shuemo looked at me, his eyes instantly filled with hope. My gaze turned cold. Let's break out among the players in Ice and Snow City who inherited the game's abilities. There must be array masters. Let them set up arrays outside the city. I'll handle this wave of beasts. You arrange for people to build array defenses. I said, and I jumped off the city wall and charged directly towards the boss group. The reason I dared to be so reckless was because most of the bosses this time were wind beasts, but my growth rate was more than 3 times that of ordinary players. I was a man faster than wind beasts.